So today, class, we are going to start a topic called dimensional analysis. It's also sometimes called the factor label method, which will make sense when I show it to you, but it's really to convert units. Now, I show it slightly differently. I actually think my way is a little bit easier because it helps to organize it with parentheses. If you follow along with what the book shows, it does not use the parentheses, but it's the exact same thing. If you're curious, it's chapter 4, lesson 5 in our textbook. For the parents who might be listening in or trying to help or family members, this is a relatively new topic. When I first learned it, I was actually a chemistry student in high school, and I struggled with this all year. So the fact that I teach this to sixth graders blows my mind, but they do it. It takes a little bit, but they do figure it out. So students, if you're confused in the beginning, do not fear. You will get this. I've taught this to sixth graders for several years now, and in the end, everybody gets it. Okay. Now, converting units, that's like I have so many feet. How many inches is that? When I was a student, and probably your parents and grandparents, when they were students, we learned that sometimes you would multiply and sometimes you would divide by this conversion factor. Well, even me, as a good math student who loved this kind of stuff, I could never remember when you multiply and when you divide. This method takes that confusion away. You always set it up the exact same way, regardless of whether you're starting with the bigger unit or the smaller unit. So once you wrap your head around it, I think you're really going to like this. Now, there's lots of things that you're going to want to reference. You can see that I have my screen set up today so that I have the steps showing the entire time. You might even want to pause the video as you're working on your practice today, and then I can go through and show you step by step. I'll also post the steps as a reference material, and it will be in your digital notebook. So you'll have lots of places to go and find these step-by-step directions. The other thing that you're going to want to have handy is your textbook, okay? Page 290 looks like this. This is a conversion chart that will be very, very helpful. Now, later in the year, when you forget exactly what page it was on, there's a similar chart at the back of the book. Okay, this is the inside of the back cover. That's an easy, quick place to go to get this. It actually has more than we're dealing with now because this will come up again later in the year for a different topic. Okay, so those two things you're going to want to have handy. The list of steps that I have over on the side of the screen that I just moved. Awesome. And then the chart with the conversions. Okay, so let's go through this step by step. The very first problem is the one that you'll see on my step there. And I moved it again. Darn it. The whole page of this actually does this first problem on the right. I just shrunk it down so you can see the steps. Okay, so the first step is to write the original. I have 15 quarts. That's what QT means, which is like a liquid measure or like something you might use in the kitchen. And then I want to see how many gallons that is. Maybe I made, I don't know, salsa, and I had 15 quarts of freshly made salsa. And I want to say, yeah, I made this many gallons of salsa, to impress my friends on Taco Tuesday. So, step one, write the original 15 quarts, QT. Make a set of parentheses with a fraction bar. Now, this is going to be a fraction, so I'm going to make my parentheses span 2 lines. See that? How I did that there? Okay. Write the original units on the bottom. I'm not so worried about the numbers yet. I'm worried about the labels. One of the reasons this is also called the factor label method. Okay. So the original units was quarts. I'm going to put that on the bottom. Step 4 says write the new units on the top. So I had quarts to start with. I want to switch it to gallons. That's my new unit. No numbers yet, just the labels. Original on the bottom, new on the top. Always. All right. Step 5 says look at the chart, find conversion, fill in numbers. So on this chart, we're looking for quarts to gallons. Now, I see quarts and I see pints. Here we go. 4 quarts is 1 gallon. And you do have to look at both sides because these can go back and forth. So 4 quarts is 1 gallon. I'm going to fill that in based on my labels. So I said 4 quarts, the 4 goes with the quarts, was 1 gallon. So the 1 goes with the gallons. With me so far? All right, step 5 is done. Step 6, cross cancel the units. Let's take a side thought for a minute. Let's do some numbers. If I gave you 7 over 7, what would you tell me? Well, that's 1, because I can divide by 7 and divide by 7, and I get 1 over 1. The same idea works for our units or our labels. If I have quart on the top, because this is really over 1, and I have quart on the bottom, they can cancel out. They're gone. The only label left is gallons, right? There's no other labels in this problem. Well, that's perfect because I want gallons for my answer. Now this looks a whole lot like multiplying fractions. So 15 times 1 is 15. 1 times 4 is 4. And then I'll put my label with it. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't walk around going, hey, yeah, I made 15/4 of a gallon of salsa last night. Yeah, nobody talks like that. I don't walk into Wawa or walk into Heritage's or walk into the supermarket and say, yeah, I need 15/4 gallons of milk. Because they're going to look at you and be like, what? Usually, we're going to convert it to either a whole number or a mixed number. So let's do that. 15/4. Well, 15 divided by 4, I'll get 3. 3 times 4 is 12. I have 3 pieces left over. So that would be the same as 3 3/4 gallons of salsa, of milk, of whatever we happen to have. Okay? All right, there was a lot of steps happening there. Let's do another example. The steps are still on the left. I'm going to shift over here. All right. This time, we're switching from feet to inches. Now, any parents who overhear this video, you might be able to do that in your head. It's a common conversion. Let's see if the kids can get there. Step 1, write the original. Well, what was the original? 20 feet. Step 2, make a set of parentheses with a fraction bar. And leave yourself some space to write. Step 3, write the original units on the bottom. Well, this was the original, so I'm going to put it on the bottom. You'll notice that these are the same, right? Feet on top, feet on bottom. Step 4, write the new units on top. So I'm asked to switch to inches. That's my new unit. Step 5, look at the chart and find the conversion. All right, let's see. We're going from feet or foot to inches. So there's foot, up, and there's inches. Got it on the first one. So 1 foot, 12 inches. 1 foot, 12 inches. 1 foot, 12 inches. You put the numbers where the labels are. Sometimes it'll be backwards of what you say. Just follow where the labels are. Okay, step 6, cross cancel units. So I see I've got feet and feet. Cross them off, I'm done. There's also a 1 here if we need it, just like a fraction. Step 7, multiply. 20 times 12. Well, let's see, 12 times 2 would be 24, and then add that 0 on like I multiplied by 10. 1 times 1 is 1, and my leftover label was inches. So 20 feet equals 240 inches. In this case, my answer was right there because I didn't get a fraction for my answer. All right, 240 inches. Let's do one more. Following the same steps. Oh, this one starts with a fraction. It's all right, we got it. Step 1, write the original. 3/4 ton. This is LB for pounds. So 3/4 of a ton is how many pounds? Okay, write the original. Step 2, make parentheses with a fraction bar. Step 3, put the original unit on the bottom. Step 4, put the new units, LB, on the top. I don't know why pound is LB. Go ask Siri or Alexa. I'm not sure. It just is. Step 5, look at the chart, find the conversion, fill in the numbers. So let's see, 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. 1 ton, 2,000 pounds. 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. If you do end up asking Siri or Alexa and you find out an answer, please let me know. Okay, we're going to cross cancel our units. I'm trying to hold my notebook because I'm at the bottom here. There we go. Cross cancel our units, tons and tons. Goodbye. Now we're going to multiply 3/4 times 2,000. Well, let's see. If this breaks it into 4 pieces, that would be 500, 500, 500. This is going to be 1,500, 1,500, and then 1 times 1, which would be 1. I'm not going to write that. And the label that's left is pounds. So 3/4 of a ton is the same as 1,500 pounds. Now, if you've ever had to do these conversions, I'm going to multiply by 3, I'm going to divide by 3, and you've struggled with when to do multiply or divide, every single problem gets set up the same way. Even up here, when our number went on the bottom instead of going on the top, the steps are still the same. It will take practice, but you will get this.